We are 18 kilometers from the Rhine. The Black Forest is right behind us. And here, you see the strategic and tactical location of this site. This is what would take the brunt of any German advance if ever an attack occurred in this area.
Turrets rising from a field and a block of concrete in the Alsace woodland. That's just about all you can see from the outside of the Schöneburg fortification. But with the help of Marc Alter, a former defender of the Maginot Line, we head 17 kilometers underground to discover 3 kilometers of tunnels. It's a whole self-sufficient city, big enough to shelter 630 soldiers.
There are 3 100-litre electric pressure cookers. There's an electric oven and a water heater.
In the 10 years from 1928 to 1938, nearly 500 fortifications went up. From Alsace to the Ardennes, the Maginot Line runs for 300 kilometers, and its history is still alive and kicking.
Come on, hurry up! Hurry up!
The volunteers who look after the bunkers in Huberbusch in the Moselle wear the same uniforms as the 38 soldiers who were stationed here during the winter of 1939.
We do a number of different reenactments involving troops that would have been based inside the fortifications, as well as a group who would have patrolled outside. This, for example, is the outdoor outfit. There's a winter coat, a helmet, a bag with a gas mask, and so on.
My great-grandfather was with the 161st Fortress Infantry Regiment. He was based about 20 kilometers away. By coming here, I've been able to find out more about what he went through.
There are many more reenactment enthusiasts along the whole Maginot Line. The Hackenberg site has been painstakingly restored. Visitors come to learn more about the life of soldiers. It was a life spent underground, with the barracks on one side of the fortification and the battle stations at the other. This train transported the soldiers along the 10-kilometer tunnel to their firing positions. In Putelangeau-Lac, the line turns to water.
It was both a physical obstacle and an artillery point. Behind, at the right of the river, we find the structure of the dam. The beams were piled up to the top. We're on the roadblock here. The blockhouse is at the back. So here you can see the floodwaters at their maximum level. And now you can imagine this whole field as it would have been flooded.
These artificial dams meant that surrounding villages could be flooded to stave off the enemy.
To close the dam, you just have to turn the reservoir valves. And in 36 hours, we were able to flood an area that went from Ost up to Vitrin, passing by Sarralbe. So an area of about 30 kilometers that was blocked off by these defensive flood zones.
We move on now to the fortification at Villy-la-Ferté in the Ardennes, to the far west of the Maginot Line. This is the area that was most exposed to the German invasion in May 1940.
The village of Villy was attacked on the 16th and the 17th, and La Ferté fortification was hit on the 18th and 19th. 220 pieces of artillery were positioned, 22 shells, 3,600 tons of bombs fell in 4 days.
The soldiers resisted the onslaught by taking refuge 19 meters underground, but it was the lack of air that killed them 6 hours later.
There were no survivors from the 105 identified soldiers. 3 were killed by shrapnel. 102 were poisoned inside by the carbon monoxide.
Thousands of unknown soldiers lost their lives in these fortresses that were said to be impassable. The Maginot Line, this architectural feat, built to protect the borders, became a symbol of the French defeat of 1940.